What's up, everybody? I'm doing this video. I know it has been a little minute for me. I hope and pray that everyone has been safe and well. I know that in Minnesota over the last couple of weeks we had some snowstorms, y'all. We got kind of snowed in. So, and the snow is kind of hopefully going to melt away with the warmer temperatures coming up here this weekend. But I just hope and pray everyone is doing well and has been taking care of themselves. I wanted to come on here and do another video, another one of my videos, and in hopes that it can help and encourage someone along their life's journey. And so I'll just jump right into it. Today's video, and if you see my eyes going back and forth, is because I'm looking at some of my notes that I have on my laptop. So today's video is, I want to talk about co-parenting. This is something that I struggle with, honestly, and in all transparency. Something that I struggle with as I have with my children and having 3 children, and something that I struggled with when I was raising my children on both ends. So I just wanted to give people some little helpful tidbits of wisdom that I learned along my journey. And as I said, in hopes that it will help someone along their journey. One of the things that I had to do in my, when I was going to get my master's degree is we had to write a couple of program papers. I know, program papers period. But program papers, it was not my forte. I was so nervous writing these papers, and I had no idea what I was going to write the papers on. I was so nervous and a little bit insecure about it because I didn't know what I was going to write my papers on, because the field that I got my master's degree in was a new, totally different field than what I've been in. So I have my master's degree in family science. So I decided to write about, when I did write papers, I decided to write papers about my personal life journey. So one of those things was co-parenting. So I had to write a whole program, including handouts, on co-parenting. So I just want to go over some of the things that I wrote in that program in regards to co-parenting. So one of the things, I'm just going to go through my handouts that I did. So on my first handout, it was the whole program was how to effectively co-parent. So on one of my handouts, I did breaking down barriers and conflict resolution for co-parenting. So one of the books that I read, it was stated in that book that it is speculated that living with parental hostility, tensions, and difficulty increases children's feelings of vulnerability and nervousness. So if you have a child and you're not getting along with the other parent, and you see that child either begin to act out in school or act out at home, this could be the reasons why. So I had listed like a couple of things that I feel like would benefit and help to break down some of those barriers and to resolve conflicts between the parents. So one of the questions that I would ask is what are the past or present issues that you have with the other parent concerning the children. This is something that needs to be talked about when you have those when you talk about breaking down barriers, because you need to know what are the issues. So if you have to take the time to write them down, if you have to take the time to talk it out with the other parent, that's something that needs to be addressed. Something else was have those issues affected your relationship with the children. Sometimes we allow our personal and emotional issues to come in between how we parent with the other parent in regards to the child, and we should not be doing that. We need to get on one accord, set aside our personal differences, set aside our emotional differences, and come together to co-parent that child. Have you addressed these other issues with the co-parent? Good communication is always the key to any effective and healthy relationship, be it whatever relationship, friendship, romantic relationship, and especially with co-parenting. Good communication is the key. Another helpful one that I really came to my mind is your style of parenting different or similar to the parenting style of the other parent, and how? Those are things to kind of think about, because sometimes it could just be a parenting difference conflict, if that makes sense, in the way that we were raised, or the way that how we parent, and we may need to come to some sort of compromise. There may need to come to some sort of compromise on that. Have you remained flexible and understanding to the parenting style differences? That's something that needs to be addressed and talked about as well, because understanding and remaining flexible and compromising, those are the things that will help to build a healthy co-parenting relationship. The other handout that I created for my program was effective communication. Effective communication is vital when it comes to co-parenting. Various factors can contribute to poor communication in co-parenting. One of the books that I was reading stated that children need a well-established communication between their parents if they want to raise them well and without deep psychological scars. So I said one of the things that you can do with effective and healthy communication that I believe is to minimize conflict. Realize that co-parenting is a partnership. The purpose is to produce a healthy environment that will foster and promote healthy and successful children. Try to avoid undermining each other's roles and conflicts over petty issues, and keep your co-parenting partner well informed. A little respect goes a long way. This really resonated with me and was missed during my co-parenting with my own children. That I found that would have been something that would have been really beneficial to me, and I know it will be beneficial to others. Another thing is find a communication means. There are several ways to communicate. Technology has created alternative ways to communicate other than face-to-face. Be mindful of your tone when sending emails and texts, and never communicate through the children. I think that adults sometimes we think that it's okay to do that, but there are certain things that the adults need to communicate without the children being involved. You know how your parents used to tell the kids to go in another room or stay out of grown folks' business. Co-parenting is grown folks' business, so let's keep it that way. Another thing is avoid speaking negatively about the other parent, especially in front of the children. Do not put any of your business on social media. If an issue does arise between the two parents involved, try to promptly address and resolve the issues in private. Keep family and friends out of your business. I can't say that enough. When you're in relationships with people, and especially with co-parenting, sometimes you just have to talk to that other parent and keep it to yourself. In order to have a peaceful and healthy and effective co-parenting relationship with the other parent, because oftentimes people could come in with their advice and their opinions and different things, and they have no idea what is truly going on. It is between the two parents involved. So I would say keep the advice and opinions to a very, 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 very minimum. Um, Another thing is make sure the children are the center of all of the conversations. This will allow this keeps personal feelings and emotions from resurfacing. If you stick to the plan, stick to, this is about the kids. When we have a conversation, it's not about what I'm doing in my life, not about what you're doing with him or her over there, up chair over everywhere. It's about the children when you are talking to the other co-parent. And I know sometimes there are parents who can be friendly like that, but if you have a co-parent where you can't be like friendly like that with them, then that's what I would suggest, is just to keep your conversations about the children, and keep the conversations to a minimum, need to know, and keep it moving. Another thing is mind your business. Anything involving your ex outside of the children is really technically none of your business. If it doesn't affect the children or it's not hurting the children, then it's really your main focus should be about the children and the well-being of the children. Do not react thoughtlessly. Instead, respond mindfully. Be willing to show grace. It is not a competition, it is a collaboration. Parenting and co-parenting is a collaboration. Do not just talk about it, be about it. Be consistent, follow through, follow up, and be accountable. Let's see here. Another little tidbit would be, to avoid stress. A lot of times, and just in my own personal experiences with co-parenting, a lot of times we don't realize that when we start arguing and bickering back and forth about this, about petty stuff, that puts so much stress on the other parent. And we don't realize that when that other parent is stressed, they're not able and capable to show up as their best self for the child. So if it's something that you can, compromise on, or be, like I said, show some grace and show some compassion towards one another and some humility toward one another. One of the things to kind of offset that stress that I had, is to get active, exercise, to reduce the stress, not the stress from co-parenting, because I feel like, with co-parenting, we need to be mindful of that and not cause additional stress, but just the stresses of life. Life happens. Things happen in life that are out of our control sometimes, and stress can happen. So I just, for that part of it, just get active and exercise. That's something in order to reduce stress. Eat healthy, make sure you're eating healthy. And just try to manage your stress levels at any way that you can, so that you can show up and be your best for your children, be the best version of yourself for your children. And then I just said, as parents, you have a commitment to your children to be the best possible parents that you can be. And I know that some of us, we had children at a young age. Our children grew up with us. We grew up, a long life journey and all of those things. But that still doesn't stop you, shouldn't stop you from trying to be the best parent to your children that you can be. Though your family may not look like the societal norm, it is important for you to realize that through your child, you are a family. In this life, if you desire change, sometimes you must be the change you want to see. It's not always easy, but it is necessary. My prayer is that you can take what you have learned in what I've shared with you and implement it in your co-parenting to be the best parents and co-parents that you can be. And I had a little, for this, I had a little positive quote, and it said, at the end of the day, the most overwhelming key to a child's success is the positive involvement of parents. So we want to keep that in mind when co-parenting. It's about the kids. You have to put your personal feelings, your emotions, and all of that stuff have to be in check. And you have to have a level of maturity. I'm just going to be honest. You have to have a level of maturity in order to do that, to separate yourself from, from the parent, from the relationship that you had with that person. You have to have a mature mindset and a willingness to do the work to with the other parent, and to work together with the other parent to have healthy co-parenting, which then produces healthy children. And healthy, overall children. So that is what I wanted to talk about. I hope that this video helps someone. And my eyes all over the place sometimes because I don't know which direction this camera is. So y'all pray for me that I get it together. Got a new camera stand, and just started using this. So that is what I'll say, and I hope and pray that everybody takes care and continues to be well and be the best version of yourself that God created you to be. Peace. Let me see if this gonna work now. It's got a little thing on here that's supposed to stop the camera.